This is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin tonight with breaking news. A woman has been arrested in connection to a shots fired incident that happened in downtown Fargo over the weekend. Police say after reviewing cameras in the area and speaking with witnesses, they've arrested 24-year-old Alexis Areza. Police say she was not targeting anyone in particular. New information about the fraudulent check story we broke yesterday after a man told us he was given a fake check after trying to sell his car on Facebook. Tonight, more people speaking out saying the same thing happened to them. Valley News Team's JC Dodd joins us live with an update. JC?
Well, Stacy, yesterday we told you about a West Fargo man who sold his SUV Sunday and later realized the cashier's check that was handed to him was fake. Today, I spoke with two more men who say the same thing happened to them, involving the same con artist, Amy Murray. A man in Hubbard County, Minnesota says Murray used a fake check to buy his car, also on Sunday. And a man in Moorhead says Murray duped him the same way when buying a car from him last Christmas. Thankfully, insurance reimbursed him and the car was later found. Now, this is Murray's mugshot taken by Fargo police when she was arrested last February on an unrelated warrant. I did some digging and found the 38-year-old has a detailed criminal history. She first faced charges related to fraud back in 2002. And since then, she's had a string of convictions and faced other charges relating to cases throughout Minnesota and the Fargo-Moorhead area. Most recently, an arrest warrant for Murray was filed June 17th with charges related to a series of forged checks used in Minnesota between October of 2020 and this past January. Now, I've called police in West Fargo and Dilworth and the Hubbard County Sheriff's Office where they all confirmed reports were filed. But these most recent cases involving vehicles being purchased with fraudulent cashier's checks. But the agencies had not identified Murray as a suspect in any of these cases. And finally, I reached out to Murray on Facebook and asked her to comment, and she simply replied with a thumbs up. Stacy?
Thanks so much, JC. We'll continue to follow you this story and bring you the latest from law enforcement. Meanwhile, Fargo police tell us they're getting more and more reports of phone scams. At times, callers may say they're with a police department or a sheriff's office warning about unpaid fines or a warrant. Some calls involve claims of compromised social security numbers. In others, a scammer will claim the individual needs to pay a deposit to Xcel Energy for a new meter. To avoid being duped, you should never give your personal or financial information over the phone to a caller you are not expecting to hear from. Now here's Hutch with a first look at your forecast. Hutch?
Stacey, look at that view outdoors from our home of economy location in Devils Lake, North Dakota. Just one cloud in the sky, maybe two, nothing really too dramatic out there. And we're battling a little bit of those northwest winds again, at times gusting over 30 miles per hour. Let's take a look at what we have going on right now on the radar. We do see that we have a couple of clouds that are working their way from north to south across the region. I think we're on the sky cam. Here's the weather computer. There we go. Okay, so as we take a look at fall season starting, the Minnesota DNR helping to keep us up to date with the latest on where the fall colors are showing up the greatest as we take a look at the fall foliage map here from our friends at the Minnesota DNR. Just a little bit of color starting to show up on the northern shore, and if you have photos, we'd love to see them at valleynewslive.com. You can upload those. I know I've seen some trees here changing in the FM area. Passing showers north to south, mainly east of our area. We do have temperatures that are going to sneak down into the cool 50s as we head through the evening. I don't think we'll see frost yet, but we'll talk a little bit about some cool weather in our forecast coming up here, Stacy, in just a few moments. Oh, I'm supposed to walk over here. So we'll have that in just a few moments.
All right, we love having you over here, Hutch. Thanks so much.
You bet.
Hey, it's been nearly 4 months since Gigi's Playhouse was destroyed by fire, later ruled as arson. But fall programming underway again. While they usually have about 22 programs going each season, they're back with limited programming, now 7 this fall. The board president tells us they've been able to provide for all of their demographics, from toddlers to teens to adults, participating in fitness, educational, and enrichment opportunities. Everyone is asking what they need to rebuild. She says right now it's money. It costs approximately $21 per person to provide Gigi's programming.
$21 is always kind of our magic number when we start looking at things, but any dollar amount, no matter how small, is 100% welcome and needed.
Gigi's serves more than 190 families in the Red River Valley. If you'd like to help them rebuild, head to gigisplayhouse.org/Fargo. Officers in the metro were busy early this morning after a car sped through the wrong lane of traffic and crashed into a semi. A sergeant saw the driver speeding in the wrong lane of traffic on 13th Avenue East, running a red light and colliding with a semi-tractor around midnight. The driver, Danielle Franklin from West Fargo, had to be extracted from the car. She was taken to the hospital but is expected to be okay. The passenger, Stephen Summers, ran but was arrested by West Fargo police. The vehicle Franklin was driving was stolen out of Moorhead. It was a challenging Labor Day weekend on Minnesota roads. 4 people lost their lives due to drunk driving, including a 29-year-old man who crashed and hit a tree in Otter Tail County. 373 drivers were arrested for DWI during the holiday weekend, compared to an average of 280 DWI arrests during a non-holiday weekend. To date, 315 people have lost their lives on Minnesota roads, compared with 250 this time last year. New tonight at 5, we now know the name of the 2 people who were seriously injured in an ATV crash that happened Sunday in the Chippewa National Forest. Officials say 23-year-old Parker Marty lost control of the ATV, causing it to roll. The passenger was identified as 23-year-old Brandy Wilson. 2 men have been arrested after police say they were caught going through homes that are under construction. Alexander Groover and Justin Keller were both arrested for criminal trespass. Police say an officer was on patrol this morning near 72nd Avenue South and 28th Street South when they noticed 2 people with flashlights inside a home. The men were arrested a short time later. Do you recognize this man? Fargo police say he's a person of interest in a recent attempted break-in. The incident happened around 11:30 at night on September 4th at an apartment in the 700 block of 23rd Street South. The victim says the man was trying to get inside while they were home with their infant. If you have any information, call police at 701-241-1405. You can expect traffic delays in North Fargo because some houses are being moved. The city says 2 homes will be moved from Royal Oaks Drive to 36th Avenue for overnight storage. This is scheduled to begin around 5:30 tonight. Then tomorrow, a house located on 19th Avenue North will be moved starting at 7 in the morning. Once that house is moved, the other 2 will be moved again. Traffic impacts are expected to be done by 10 tomorrow morning. You can find more information on our website, valleynewslive.com. The Minnesota State Fair wrapped up its 12-day run with total attendance of about 1.3 million, well below usual numbers as the Delta variant kept many fairgoers away. The coronavirus wiped out the 2020 State Fair, but this year's comeback returned just as the variant was heating up. Rainy weather also held crowds down on some days. Final attendance was about 60% of 2019's record attendance of 2.1 million. In case of a fire emergency, do you know how to use a fire extinguisher? If not, don't worry. The West Fargo Fire Department is offering classes for free. The Valley Today's Brian Sherrod took a lesson this morning. You can see him using a fire extinguisher for the very first time, demonstrating that a first-time user can learn fast. Now, it's important to remember that a fire extinguisher should only be used for small fires.
For a kitchen fire and you have grease, if you put water on it, it's just going to make that grease fire explode and get larger. And we have a lot of people that still do that, even though we preach not putting water on it. So the best thing is either put a lid on a grease fire or a fire extinguisher.
The class is being offered for free at local schools, businesses, and clubs in West Fargo. Anyone at least 12 years old is welcome to attend. Each class takes about 30 to 45 minutes. More details can be found at valleynewslive.com. There's another candidate who will be running for the governor of Minnesota. Senator Paul Gazelka announced his long-expected run for governor today. He attacked Governor Tim Walz for his response to the pandemic and for closing down public schools. He also faulted the governor for the unrest that followed after George Floyd's death.
Tim Walz says he wants one Minnesota, but I've never seen Minnesotans more divided, angry, and afraid than they are today.
He joins a growing field of Republicans seeking to unseat Walz if the governor seeks a second term. Senator Michelle Benson entered the race last week, and former Senator Scott Jensen has been in the race since March. We're preparing for a very special North Dakota Today to lift up Louisiana. Details still to come on Valley News Live at 5.
Preparing you for a transitional month. Take a look at these freeze and frost dates across Fargo and Grand Forks, and will you need one of these? Your scraper could come in handy. Typically, we have frost in Grand Forks by the 13th. Last year, it was this week. Your hour-by-hour forecast, including chance of frost or not, is next.